I am reflecting on the question, you of little faith, why are you so afraid? This question has always intrigued me. It's found in the story of Jesus calming the storm. So the disciples have gotten on this boat with Jesus. They're out in the middle of the Sea of Galilee, and out of nowhere, this big storm comes. And the disciples are scared because they think they're getting ready to be shipwrecked. They think they're getting ready to end up in the middle of the sea, possibly hurt and drowned. And Jesus is in the back of the boat sleeping. How, they wonder, and they wake him up and say, Jesus, do something, do something. And his response is, you of little faith, why are you so afraid? And I've always been intrigued by this because of course they're afraid. They're in the middle of a storm, in a boat, in some water, and they have no one around them to save them, just each other, this little boat, and Jesus. It comes in the middle of Matthew's gospel when he's been healing people and showing all of these signs of how he is the Messiah, the one who has come to save us all. And he wakes up, he chastises them a little bit, and he says, peace, be still. And the storm goes away, everything's fine, and the disciples again are left mystified. Are they afraid because they have no faith? A while back, I spent some time thinking that I was never supposed to be afraid. I have anxiety and I struggle with my fear. I can make mountains out of molehills. And I thought this must be unfaithful. This must be the biggest problem I have, this inability to trust, to believe that good things are going to happen in my life. And so I made it my mission to never feel afraid again. You know what happens when you try not to feel feelings? Well, you bottle them up, and then they get bigger, and they get bigger, and they get bigger. And my anxiety turned into panic, and my panic turned into not being able to breathe, breaking down into tears, and falling into the floor. Because no matter what we do, our bodies help us survive. And when they feel afraid, they feel threatened, they feel fear. And so I think about these disciples in this boat, and I wonder, did Jesus really mean we're not supposed to be afraid? Especially when there is a big storm threatening our lives? And I don't think that's true, because why on earth would God have created us with amygdalas that feel fear? Fear actually helps us be safe. It's when it gets so big that we push people away and isolate and not take risks for something good that fear becomes a problem. And when I feel that afraid, when I feel so afraid I can't do what God is calling me to do, I think about my amygdala and these disciples. And I put my hand on my heart and my hand on my stomach, and I breathe in, because God has given me the equipment to live without incapacitating fear. If we breathe in, allow ourselves to be filled with God's love, and exhale, letting go of the things that are keeping us from doing what God has called us to do, then fear has a purpose. It leads us to bravery. And that's what we see these disciples doing. In the mystery of it all, they're being brave. They got on the boat, and they're doing their very best to follow Jesus. They're still human, but their fear leads them to show us how to share God's love.